YouTube? It's your boy Sean.
And it's your girl Tia.
And we the Island Squad.
Yeah, bang.
And our kids are on the floor playing, so if you hear music or hee ha ha, that's them. Before you even get into this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, comment.
Hit the notification bell.
Hit the notification bell so you can be a part of the Island Squad. Follow us on Instagram, it's _the_island. And yeah. This video we're about to get to today is about the first time she got pregnant with our daughter and everything that we went through the entire pregnancy.
So we're pretty much going to give you details about the entire pregnancy from the beginning when we found out to, you know, to the very end when we came out. So,
if y'all keep seeing me disappearing, that's me getting Caden because he's crawling now, so he's getting into everything.
Everything.
So pardon my disappearance.
Hi. Okay. Hi. Alright, so I guess we will start pretty much how we found out that we were pregnant. Well, we initially was trying to have a baby pretty much. So she was playing. I had the implant in my arm for 3 years, and once it was time for me to get it taken out, we had decided to just go ahead and try for a baby. And pretty much when I went to go get it taken out, I just told the doctor that I didn't want it to get put back in, that we was going to try for a baby. And it didn't take about what? How long did it take for
you to get pregnant?
Yeah.
I want to say 2 or 3 months because it didn't go as quickly as we thought it would.
Right.
It actually took some time.
Why you not
Because I'm feeding him.
They can't see you.
I told him to be disappearing.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's about 2, maybe 3 months for me to actually get pregnant because, like I said, I had the implant on in my arm for 3 years. So, you know, even though it was out, my body had to like readjust itself. It was a Thursday night or evening when I went to Dave & Buster's with my family, and all that week I had been experiencing like stomach aches. My stomach was in knots. You know, I just was not feeling well. I didn't know what it was, what was going on. So I went out with my family that night. I had an apple martini. We went to Dave & Buster's, and I was still sitting there just feeling so like irritable. I was just not feeling good. So when we left, I was on my way of dropping my brother off at home. He decided that he wanted to stop at Walgreens. So I was like, maybe I should just get a pregnancy test just to see. So I went home after dropping him off, and I told Babe that I got a pregnancy test because I wanted to see whether or not if I was pregnant. And he advised me to take one of the tests, to take the test like in the early mornings. So it was like maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I took the first test. When I took it, it was positive. So me being so anxious and just so like all over the place, I woke Bae up and told him like, Bae, look, I took the test. This is what it says. He did not believe me. He felt like it was not true. So he told me to take the other test like when we actually got up in the morning to get ready for work. So I took it. I took the first one around like 3, 4 o'clock. I took the second one around like 7. And it was the same thing. It was positive. And once again, he did not believe me. And I'm like, how much confirmation do you need to just prove to you that I am pregnant? So he told me to go to Walgreens and get the Clear Blue Digital. Now the first set that I bought was the First Response. So I went back to Walgreens before I went to work, and I bought the Clear Blue Digital. So one of them was digital. It'll tell you exactly that, you know, it'll tell you written out that you're pregnant, and then the other test that was inside the box was just like a plus minus one. What was it? I don't know. I think both of them was digital. I'm not too sure. But I took it. I went to my brother's house because at that particular time I was taking my brother to work and we were sitting in the I went to my brother's house and I actually took the test, the digital one, and once again I was pregnant. So when I screenshot the picture today, he flew off his rockers. Like, he was super excited. He finally believed me, which was crazy. It took 4 tests for him to actually believe me. That was crazy. After that, we started going to the doctor, and we found out that we got the confirmation that we actually was pregnant. I want to say, when was it exactly when I found out about the high risk situation?
I really don't even remember. Hey.
Oh, okay. So I want to say it was probably around maybe 3 or 4 months when I was pregnant with Sky, when I found out that I was considered high risk because she had a 2 blood vessel cord, and a normal one would be 3. You'll have 3 blood vessel cords. So I was considered high risk because I only had 2. I'm not sure how I got 2 and not 3. It was never determined how, but we found that out, and they automatically considered me high risk. With that, I still have to go to my normal appointments, but I was also referred to EVMS to do an extensive ultrasound to see, about the blood vessels and stuff like that. But like I said, it wasn't really determined how it came about. But they also kept a close eye on me with my daughter being in my stomach, just to make sure that nothing was, gonna go wrong. I was still eating normal.
I'll be back.
I was still eating normal. I didn't have any morning sickness with her. It felt like it took me forever to actually start showing with her. I didn't start showing with her until about 4 months. What else? So I didn't have morning sickness. I was taking my prenatals. I had to take iron, of course, because I am anemic. So I have to take those along with my prenatals. But yeah, this pregnancy was really a roller coaster because it was a back and forth with my personal gynecologist as well as going to an EVMS to do all these extra ultrasounds.
And hold on before you keep going. The EVMS was in Norfolk, and their rooms are little as hell.
Yeah, I nearly had, not nearly, I had an episode.
She passed out.
In VMS.
It was so hot in there because all the computers and stuff was going on. And she had to pee.
Yeah.
As soon as I told her to get up and pee, she passed out.
Yeah.
The nurse acted like she didn't know what the hell she was doing. Almost choked her. Man, I'm talking about, it was like, she about to be wrestling.
It was terrible. It was towards the end of my pregnancy, and I had to go to an appointment with EVMS so that they could do another ultrasound to see how the baby was doing. And, like he said, it was very hot in there. They had like the screen, they had like 2 computers and everything. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. So, and I had to pee. And normally they tell you when you're doing an ultrasound that it's better to, not to necessarily hold your pee, but they can see the baby more, on your bladder, pretty much. Not on your bladder, but yeah. So yeah, I held my pee, because of the ultrasound, and when I couldn't hold it no more, I had to go. And like I said, with all the computers and all that stuff running in there, it just got really hot to me. So by the time I told Babe, like, I really gotta go to the bathroom, I wanted to get some air, I couldn't even get completely up. Like, I think I probably literally set up, and just turned my body, and I fainted. So, and the doctor, the ultrasound tech that was in there, she was kind of foreign. So, she wasn't kind of, she was foreign.
She got her ass touched up.
And,
So she told him, I don't know what to do. Get your ass up. Go get some help. Like, I had to get up and get everybody in there while she ended up having a panic attack.
Yeah. He literally had to go in the hallway and be like, help, we need help, you know, and it's like, I mean, the tech wasn't a doctor, but at the same time, she still should have, you know, once she seen what condition I was in, she should have got up and got some help. Like, she was still, like, literally sitting there, you know what I'm saying?
She was pretty much frozen.
Yeah.
So apparently that job was not
shock.
That job was not for her at all.
Yeah.
Because she almost died. I almost choked the dog out of her.
I guess she went to shock. But the doctors came in and they gave me some water, and I think they gave me like some crackers or
like
granola bar or something, and you know what I'm saying. And I hurried up and finished the ultrasound, and like once I got out of there, it was a sign of relief. So when I had to go back to an EVMS, I made sure I chose no, I didn't choose the location, but they told me that the Virginia Beach one was the only one they had, and availability for. So I went there, and when we went there, it was so spacious in there, like it wasn't confined at all. Like I was just like, ugh, because I was so nervous. I was like, what if this EVMS is the same way? What if I, do the same thing? And surely I didn't have to go through that. So kudos to the EVMS in Virginia Beach.
Oh, some ice.
But getting back into the pregnancy, when I was carrying her, it wasn't bad at all. Like I wasn't, it wasn't a strain to me to carry her. Like it wasn't. Where's Sparta go? It wasn't a strain. Like the pregnancy itself, even though it was high risk, it was very easy to me. Like I didn't have any pain or anything like that. Like throughout my whole entire months, first, second trimester, I did not have any really issues. So I really loved like being pregnant then because I did not have any issues. I was still small with a big belly. My neck wasn't turning dark. My nose wasn't big. I was still the same, just with a belly. So we're getting closer to the end of the pregnancy. Of course, I have to be induced because I'm high risk. So towards the end, I had to, with my regular doctor's appointments, you go like every week. So I had to go literally twice a week because I had to get the stress test done very, very often towards the end, just to make sure that Sky was okay, that she wasn't, that she was just okay, pretty much, so to say. So I would go to my stress test like twice a week. And every time I went, when they did it, she was fine. She was kicking, she was moving. One thing about that child, when she was in my belly, she kicked like her mind was bad. Like she had no problems with moving in the day, in the night, none. So the stress test was a breeze. When Babe went with me, I think to the very first stress test that we did, he asked the doctor about bed rest. Because I was still working, and I was going to work all the way up to the very, very end.
But I asked about bed rest only because, first of all, the pregnancy was already high risk.
Yeah.
And we was getting closer and closer to the due date. And again, she was working. So I'm like, she need to be on bed rest.
Yeah. So...
I'll be back again. Oh, it's about her. Come on, man. I'm coming, baby.
So yeah, so we went to the stress test and we was about to leave, and Babe was like to the doctor, do you think that she should be on bed rest? And the doctor agreed and said that I should. Sky was due initially February the 26th. I had her on the 23rd, so I had her 3 days before her actual due date. So yeah, so the doctor put me on bed rest in January, so, like the beginning of January, like it had just hit the beginning of January. So I was on bed rest for an entire month and some change, because I didn't get. So yeah, I got put on bed rest. I mean, I wasn't too excited about it, but at the same time, I needed to rest, and I knew that I was considered high risk, and I didn't want to put my daughter in jeopardy. So I was okay, after the fact. I was just home eating, going to my appointments, all that stuff. So I get induced. I get my induced dates, and we have to go into the hospital that night. I think it was like 9 o'clock at night. We had to go. So we went in, and you know, they did all that, hooked me up and everything. And did I get medicine that night to induce? Yeah.
No,
I didn't?
No, you got it like that. Matter of fact, no, you did. You did.
I did. They did give me like some.
They gave it to you like, I want to say like an hour after we got there.
Yeah, they did, to jumpstart my labor. Yeah. So I was in labor all night. From the time that I would probably say we got settled in about 10 o'clock, they gave me the medicine, or a little bit after 10, and your girl was in pain. The contractions was coming left and right. Bae, where was Bae? Oh, Bae was in the corner sleeping.
What I'm gonna do while you in pain? I can't do nothing.
Support?
I was supporting you.
How would you support me sleep?
More support.
3 o'clock in the morning, I'm holding on to the bed rails because I'm just like having these contractions, and he's just completely knocked out sleep. Like,
well, and it's not purposely though. I didn't purposely go to sleep. I was tired too. Like.
Yeah. So the next morning, I'm still having contractions. My mom and my niece came. So, you know, I was still having my contractions. Did I dilate? I probably was maybe like 2 or 3 centimeters dilated the next day. So after that, you know, once time progressed, I was able to get the epidural. Yes, I did get the epidural. I love the fact that you can get the epidural, you know. I don't think I would ever be that one, or would have been that one, to actually have a baby without no medications. Kudos to the women that can. Not this one right here. No, ma'am. So I got the epidural. I was a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect of how to get it. You know, I've seen it, but I didn't know that they actually numb your back. But common sense would have told me that they do that because they're putting a needle in your spine. So once I got that, she was groovy. You know what I'm saying? She was in the bed.
I ain't gonna say that.
She was in the bed, you know, looking all high and stuff off this medication, and was laughing and joking with my niece and my mom. And my niece wound up leaving, but my mom was still there. Of course, Bae was still there. And I was like, you know, let me go ahead and just try to get some rest, go to sleep a little something. And I woke up, well, you know, I just kind of woke up out of my sleep and just started throwing up. I'm not throwing up for it. So, you know, of course, the nurse, they gave you ice chips and stuff. So I was like, okay, I threw up, I'm fine. I woke up again with this urge feeling that the baby had dropped, or I just felt the urge to push. So when I told my mom or whatever, the nurse came in and she looked at the monitor and looked at, you know, the contractions and stuff, and said that the baby heart rate was dropping. So she also had another nurse come in, and they actually checked me, and the baby Sky was head down. She was ready. It was time for me to push. Luckily, thank God, I didn't have to wait for my doctor to get to the hospital. He was already in there. He had just finished the C-section.
Wait before you finish, because we did kind of have to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because when it was time, the nurse came in there. I told her she about to get ready. She left and took her time. Maybe in my eyes she took her time, but I think she actually left to get the doctor. But it took a minute, and she's sitting there about to give birth, and I felt like they could have moved a little bit faster.
Yeah, like the nurse came back in there and was like setting up everything,
yeah,
but
like,
she was
should have been had everything set up. Like, you know, this girl about to give birth soon. Like, all that should have been set up. So as soon as it was time, y'all would have been ready to go.
She was moving at a very, very slow pace, and I'm just like trying to hold, you know what I'm saying, trying to hold myself together.
She almost got DDT too.
Because she was like, you know, just don't push yet. And I'm just like, well, I feel the urge to push. Like, come on, like. So, doctor comes in, he looks and wants to play around like he always do. And, he's like, okay, it's time. So he gets suited up, and I'm getting nervous as crap because I'm like, oh my God, it's time. She's about to come out. Like, oh my God. So, pushed her out. It didn't happen like that. Like, it took at least 20 minutes, at least, for me to get her out because I was pushing when I didn't have a contraction.
I guess somebody got a dirt bag outside. So that's what you're
So you're supposed to push when you're having contractions, but when you have an epidural, you're numb from the waist down, so you really don't feel the contractions.
You finished?
So I was, and Sky came out, but I actually tore myself because I was pushing when I didn't have a contraction. So I had to get like stitches, like just probably 1 or 2. But she came out. She
bald headed.
So adorable.
She came out bald headed.
So adorable. I was so emotional.
She ain't had all this hair like Katie. She had the Jefferson jump with the.
Don't talk about my
Uncle
baby.
Phil bald at the top, man.
Yeah, she came out with a little foo-foo in the front, and it was all bad. Like, I didn't really notice it though until Bae sent the picture when they was giving her bath and stuff like that. And so after the delivery or whatever, I guess they asked Bae did he want to go with them to the nursery. He left. It was no hesitation.
I bounced.
He left me like it was
Sky.
nothing.
No, I went to help bathe my daughter at the time. So.
I mean, yeah, he kissed me or whatever before he left, but it was just like, dang, like you're not gonna
I wanted to make sure Sky was in great hands. I'm not just gonna let her go out to strangers and they bathe her, and I'm not there as a parent to make sure everything was good with her. Cause she had to get a shot in her foot too. What are you doing? What's going on? What's wrong?
Yeah, so he left or whatever. So when I was able to go to the recovery room, he sent me a picture of her, and I was just like, this ain't my baby. Like, where's my baby hair? Like, what do you mean? I was so mad when I seen that picture. Because I was like, did she not finish developing? Like, where's my baby hair? But eventually I got over it, and...
I had no choice. This is me eventually you got over it.
I got over it with just like, okay, this is my baby. Give me my baby. So... we was in the hospital for at least...
Man, a week, dog.
No, it was not.
It was a week.
It was not a week.
How long we got there? Like on a Tuesday or something?
Yes.
We was there for like 3 to 5 days.
3 days. 3 days. So, yeah, we're bringing her home. Well, before we leave, his mom and brother comes to the hospital. And I was kind of sad, because I wanted my mom to be there, but of course, she couldn't, So I was very sad. I was very emotional. So when it was time for us, come here, baby. When it was time for us to leave the hospital, I got in the car and I just broke down crying. And they was like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I want my mom to be here. I was like, I'm happy that your mom and your brother are here, but I want my mom. So we go home and his mom and his brother are still here. Bae decides that he wants to go to the mall.
Oh my God! Like all this unnecessary content.
No, because this is not unnecessary. This is good. Bae decides to go. We come home the same day that we come home from the hospital with the baby. He decides to go to the mall to go get a North Face jacket with his brother.
And I still got that jacket to this day.
Who does that? We just
wait,
he wasn't even in the house for 5 minutes.
Cause look. I got the wrong size, so she ended up getting a North Face jacket. So I ain't trying to hear that. And she needed one anyway.
All I'm saying is that could wait.
This is unnecessary.
We had just got home. But anywho. So being home with Sky when she was a newborn was very, very, very stressful. She was crying in the middle of the night. She didn't have colic or anything. She was just being a normal newborn baby crying in the middle of the night. So I literally had to walk the floor with her many of nights because she just would not stop crying. So I fell into postpartum depression very fast. I was never to the point where I wanted to harm myself or harm my baby, but I was very depressed. I was very stressed. I felt like I was not going to be a good mother to her because, you know, I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Even though I've had nieces and nephews and I kind of knew how to bathe the baby and change him and stuff like that, but it was just, you know, when it came down to her crying in the middle of the night, it was like I did not know what to do. I didn't know what she was crying for. She was fed. She had her diaper changed. Like, I just did not know what to do. So I completely fell into postpartum depression very fast. I don't want to cry. But, you know, eventually it surpassed, and, you know, she just grew. And it just became a normal routine for us. Like, it wasn't hard at all. So the pregnancy itself was it wasn't as stressful as I thought, being that I was considered high risk. But, you know, it was a good pregnancy. It was a very good pregnancy. She's a big girl now, as you can see. She's about to be 4. I feel like I don't have a little girl. I mean, a little baby girl anymore. She'll tell me straight up, "Mommy, I'm a big girl." So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I left anything out with the pregnancy at all. It was truly fast. It was just, I didn't have literally anything going on. I did not have morning sickness. I didn't have anything going on. I gained the appropriate weight that I needed to gain throughout my pregnancy. Like, it was nothing really going on. So yeah.
What I want to say, for you first time parents, it's not a walk in the park, because at the end of the day, you gotta understand this is your first child, so you've never done this before. You probably got experience from nieces and nephews, but that is not the same as having your own child.
It is not.
You know what I'm saying? You will learn as you go, and that's the only thing I can honestly say. Like, we learned as we went. Like, some people gave some advice that was completely wrong, so we stopped listening to people's advice, so we just started going as we went, and she turned out just fine.
Yes, my baby girl. Yes.
And she got hair, so
yes, her hair is long, and everything grew in appropriately. Well, you guys, it concludes this video. If you have any questions for me, or if you're pregnant out there, ladies, and you have any questions, please comment down below. I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Or if you feel like I missed something and you have a question about something that I didn't discuss in the video, you can comment down below as well. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all upcoming videos. And I'm thinking that, of course, we're of course going to have to do a part 2 to explain the pregnancy with my son, Caden. And that one was
another video, which would be a part 2. So it ain't even no point in getting it. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, share the video. Follow us on Instagram. It's _the_island.
Yes.
And we out.
Peace. Bye, guys.
Peace and love.
Peace and blessings, my friend.
Oh my.